What do Africans really think about America? The answer is not simple admiration, nor blind hatred. It's something far deeper. To many Africans, the United States is a paradox. A nation that shouts freedom yet struggles with inequality, a global power that promises partnership yet often exploits, interferes, and disappoints. When Africans speak about the United States, their thoughts are not always filled with admiration. Alongside respect and curiosity, there are deep criticisms, doubts, and disappointments. To many Africans, the USA is a paradox. A nation that speaks of freedom yet is filled with inequality, a country that promotes democracy abroad yet has a history of destabilizing others, a land of wealth that sometimes benefits from Africa's poverty. The first negative thought Africans have about the USA is hypocrisy. America often presents itself as the global defender of democracy, yet Africans have witnessed moments when the USA supported corrupt leaders, military coups, and regimes that served American interests. In the Cold War era, African nations were used as pawns in a global game of power. Even today, Africans ask, why does the USA lecture us about corruption, but then do business with our corrupt elites? This hypocrisy leaves a bitter taste. The second thought is about exploitation. Africa is one of the richest continents in natural resources: gold, oil, cobalt, uranium, diamonds. Yet Africans feel that America, alongside other powerful nations, benefits more from these resources than Africa itself. Multinational corporations from the USA extract wealth while local communities remain in poverty. For many Africans, this is modern-day colonization, not with chains and guns, but with contracts and economics. Another negative view is about interference. Africans often complain that America interferes too much in their political and social issues. Whether it is influencing elections, dictating economic policies through institutions like the IMF and World Bank, or using sanctions as weapons, many Africans believe the USA does not always allow Africa to solve its own problems. They ask, why must America always have a hand in African affairs? Why can't Africa decide for itself? There is also the issue of double standards in justice and human rights. Africans see that when there are human rights violations in Africa, America is quick to condemn. But when similar things happen in countries that are allies of the USA, there is silence. They see America pointing fingers at African governments, while in the USA itself, racism, police brutality, and inequality are still alive. Africans watched the killing of George Floyd and the rise of the Black Lives Matter movement and said, how can this country tell us how to treat our people when even its own citizens are not safe from injustice? Another negative thought Africans hold is about brain drain. For decades, the best doctors, engineers, scientists, and students from Africa have left for the USA in search of better opportunities. While individuals benefit, Africa as a whole suffers because it loses its brightest minds. Africans often criticize America for being a magnet that drains Africa's talent while giving little in return. They see this not as opportunity, but as theft of human capital. Culturally, Africans also criticize America for eroding African values. Hollywood movies, music videos, and social media often spread consumerism, individualism, and lifestyles that clash with African traditions of community, respect, and spirituality. Many African elders say, our youth are no longer African, they are trying to be American. They see this as cultural colonization, the loss of identity in exchange for imitation. Economically, Africans have negative thoughts about the American system of capitalism. They see a country where the gap between rich and poor is enormous, where healthcare is expensive, where homelessness exists in the richest nation on earth. Africans ask, if this is the model of development, is it really the right one for us? They fear that copying America's system will only create more inequality in Africa. There are also political criticisms. Many Africans believe America uses its global power not to help, but to control. They point to wars in Iraq, Libya, and Afghanistan and ask, if America can destroy nations in the name of freedom, what stops them from doing the same to us? The NATO intervention in Libya, which left the country in chaos, is a painful memory for Africans. They saw an African nation collapse and asked, was this freedom or destruction? Even ordinary Africans who travel to the USA sometimes return with negative stories. About racism, about feeling like second-class citizens, about being treated with suspicion at airports, about struggling to fit into a system that praises diversity but does not always practice it. These experiences create doubts. They make Africans ask, is America really the land of the free, or is it just a land of illusions? So when Africans think negatively about the USA, it is not from hatred but from disappointment. Disappointment that a nation with so much power chooses dominance instead of partnership. Disappointment that America talks about equality but still struggles with racism. Disappointment that America, instead of helping Africa rise, often benefits from Africa's struggles. Yet within these negative thoughts, there is also a warning. Africans are awakening. They are saying, we cannot depend on the USA. We cannot wait for America to save us. We must build our own future. The criticism of America is, in truth, a call for Africa to stop looking outward and start looking inward. The African negative thought about America can be summed up in this. We see your power, but we also see your flaws. We see your wealth, but we also see your selfishness. We will not hate you, but we will not be blinded by you either. And maybe that is the most important point. Africans no longer want to be defined by the USA's shadow. They want to engage with America on equal terms, not as a child to a parent, not as a beggar to a giver, but as a partner who can stand tall.